the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
Rooks from TNT, where he said all the right stuff. He's like, I don't want to go anywhere. Doesn't mean the Hawks won't trade him. Here's the Hawks have a lot of Falcons to them. There's a lot of chaos. Mm-hmm. Ownership is wonky. The GM just is hesitant to make any move. I've never seen a GM. Landry Fields in his first time, like, he does not want to pull any trigger. Mm-hmm. I would tell you this. I think they will entertain all kinds of offers. I don't think the owner's willing to trade his cash cow. Like, the team becomes completely irrelevant the day Trae leaves. So you have a franchise that's not good anyway, but at least they're on the radar and on the map. There's a reason that attendance is what it is. And the local carrier for the Hawks came out with their numbers. They're up like 30% in the ratings for a below 500 team. And it's because of Trae Young. There's nothing else on this team that's interesting. So, no, I don't think he's played his last game. If they're smart, they realize we've got something figured out. We've got a star player. We've got to figure out better ways to build around him. Like, if I'm Trae, I would ask out. And I've said this before. I'm going into my 6th year. The organization peaked 3 years ago. The ownership let pieces and parts of the team get away for nothing because they kept devaluing them. Like, this week, they're playing Garrison Matthews off the bench. They're playing Bruno Fernando. They're playing Trent Forrest, as a backup point guard. This is because they chose to give away Kevin Huerter to stand to the luxury tax, to devalue Collins over and over, so they traded him for nothing, to not have the depth that they once had during that 21 run to the Eastern Finals, and to essentially, and part of this is on Travis Schlenk too, right? Travis didn't get it all right. They traded up for DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre's never been more than just a guy. They were hoping Onyeka Okongwu would develop into this young star starting center, and that's never happened. So there are a lot of factors that have led us here. But if I'm Trae, I would absolutely say I got to go somewhere I can compete. But if he doesn't ask out, I would never trade him if I was them.
So it doesn't even matter the deal. You would keep this thing going no matter what.
Well, you'd never get a return package for a star player that's any good. Like, they'll get 3 first-round picks, and they'll get Keldon Johnson, and they'll get, like, you'll never get anything in return that you're going to like. You'll get marginal players, expiring contracts, and a gaggle of draft picks.
They're just kind of screwed, right? Like, I've been saying this, like, unfortunately, I don't know if you're still doing it every game. And like, we have the ATL Sports Guys group chat that we're talking. And I mean, it's cool that Jalen Johnson's popped the way he has. And I think he's a long-term core guy, but like, when you let Huerter go for nothing, you let John Collins ultimately go for nothing. Jalen Johnson is a nice find, but AJ Griffin, not a rotation guy. You bet wrong on Onyeka Okongwu becoming a long-term answer at the 5. Yep. You didn't trade Capella this summer when, again, he had really high value. So now that market's tanked. Yep. I just feel like they're kind of stuck. So to your point, of like, there's something they can do.
So to me, though, the league is always, it's a simplistic thing. Although with Trae being your best player, it's tricky, right? Mm-hmm. Small, 6'1" point guard. You got to build really well around him. It's not easy, and this group has not been able to do it. I think Schlenk was on the right track. Schlenk's plan was overload it with shooting, hopefully get enough defense, and we'll see what happens. And in 21, they were just loaded with depth, right? Like, we used to laugh that they would play Tony Snell, who would come in and hit his 1 3-pointer a night, right? And Solomon Hill would play some minutes off the bench. But it was Lou Will, and it was Gallinari, and it was Bogdanovich, and like, they just had a bunch of depth. But then the business got into it.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.